Real Gary Tussey, where we talk about anything and everything that could ever amount to anything or everything to anybody and everybody who ever intends to amount to something. The Gary Tussey effect in the earth. I got a record 6.5 hours of sleep uninterrupted, and I'm bouncing off the walls this morning, baby. So easy to use, it barely felt like you were doing anything wrong. They all seemed like perfectly acceptable methods. The Gary Tussey effect in the earth. I got a record 6.5 hours of sleep uninterrupted, and I'm bouncing off the walls this morning, baby. The Gary Tussey effect in the earth. So easy to use, it barely felt like you were doing anything. They all seemed like perfectly acceptable methods. The Gary Tussey effect in the earth.
Genius loves company.
Hello and welcome to this edition of the Real Gary Tussey Podcast. Thank you for hanging with us today, all of our podcast posse. We've got our podcast posse hanging in there with us this morning, and we also have our Facebook posse hanging in there with us with a little bit of technical difficulty because I can't read all of the comments. They're not coming through. A few of them have. And once again, I have my writer by my side, the lovely and talented, effervescent, setting like a princess, perched in her electric chair, Miss Julie Tussey. Thank you for welcoming her.
Thank you so much for having me on, Gary Tussey.
Yeah, she's usually she is a, what do they say in the movie industry?
Please don't say I'm an extra.
No, not
understudy.
An extra. No, not an extra. She is appearing courtesy of the Julie Tussey Show. She's not a regular on the Real Gary Tussey Show, or is she? I'll let you fill in the blank on that. She's definitely not regular. If anything, she's extra. So
totally extra. Hey, yeah. I wanted to say that guitar playing in the intro, man, you did a job on that. That is so awesome. That's The Chase, isn't it? We call that song The Chase.
I wrote that.
We need to release
named it
that
after my youngest son,
Jordan
Chase Tussey. And speaking of guitars, we were live yesterday, and we're going to continue. I did a multicam shoot of that. Well, what we were live doing is we were selling a large stock of our guitars.
Yes, we were, and it was very, very painful. Gary was sweating. He was trembling. I could tell. You can't tell because you don't know him like I do probably, but it's not easy for you. These are like giving away children for you.
Yeah, the calm and the poise that you enjoy over this podcast and over the live feed was not so much with that live feed yesterday. Go over and look it up. You'll see I was sweating bullets and trembling like a leaf in the wind.
But it's really entertaining because you played every guitar, and there was 6 guitars and over 100-year-old violin that we have in there
that we're selling, and that all the proceeds go to the ministry for our endeavors. Mainly, we're still funding our 30-second outreach over the news programs, the local news morning shows in Lexington, Kentucky. So raise a little bit of money for that. The reason I put 6 guitars and 1 violin up is because I have wrestled for months which one or two I should sell. And I love all my guitars so much I couldn't decide which guitar to sell, or which even a couple of them to sell. So I decided, let's just blow this thing out, and I'll put 6 guitars and 1 violin up for sale. And we did sell 1. And what I'm so thrilled about, and I'm hoping this is what happened, which is why I did a Facebook Live in selling those guitars. I hope to sell them to people I know, so I know they've gotten in a good home, because these are real treasures. These guitars are, every one of them.
So the Galveston was sold. It's gone. It's history. So we're glad about that. But go over and search some of... how would they pull up a live that we did yesterday?
They
Do you
go
know?
to Gary Tussey, search for Gary Tussey, and then go to your page and go down through your feed.
Right.
Yes, so they can find
Go
it
down
there.
through my feed and you'll see it lasted about 40 minutes, but we described each guitar. I played each guitar a little bit. See, I don't have anything to drink, so I'm getting this frog thing.
You're not
in
going to
my-
want this. You can
No,
try it.
I
It's got
wouldn't drink
coconut
that.
milk, my coffee,
That
coconut
would just
milk,
make it
and
worse, I
nut
think.
pods.
Ugh,
Would you
don't.
like me to go get you a bottle of water?
No.
You sure?
Yeah, you know where they're at out there?
I sure do.
You know where they're at? They're not upstairs anymore.
No, they're down here somewhere in the
Right
walkway.
by the stairs going
Okay.
up. Yeah, so thank you. That would be great. All right, we're coming to you live over Facebook, and the Facebook posse is hanging in there with us, although I can't see all the comments because of a technical glitch on the Facebook side. As we are producing our Real Gary Tussey podcast, we have our podcast posse with us as well, and we're going to continue talking today about friendship. 3 little items I want to make sure we get in because this should be the last of our installments of the friendship notion. And I think I may put a legitimate study together and make a CD out of this and a download, because friendships are so more valuable than you can imagine. Now, Julie, get ready to say something because I'm going to take a drink of water.
All right. Well, we are really excited about you putting that together, Gary Tussey. And then the other thing I'm excited about is the series you've released 2 already on YouTube called Prayer Clinic, and I don't think you've talked about that enough. So number 1, if you're listening or watching and you want a guitar, you can actually go on Gary's feed, or you can PM us, or you can email at thevoiceinc23@gmail. And that's how you can get the information on the guitars. I think we're going to also upload it to YouTube. And then I wondered if you would talk about the prayer clinic a little bit, because what you're teaching is awesome, and it's on YouTube. You just search Tussey Television.
Yeah, I guess we do need the Facebook, not only the Facebook posse involved in that, but the podcast posse. Mm-hmm. So I'm actually just launched it, not even in the middle of a study called Prayer Clinic, and it is a clinic. And it is about prayer, because we're to make tremendous power available, dynamic in its working every time that we engage in what we call prayer. And prayer is not something you do, it's a life you live. Jesus spoke a parable that says like this: men ought always to pray and not faint. Well, what's that mean? Always. Does he mean always once a year at Christmas?
No.
Does he mean always once a month at confession? Does he mean always once a week on Sunday?
No.
Does he mean always once a day at 6 in the morning?
No.
Does he mean always?
Every time. Every
always.
moment. Always, yes.
So we got to break that down and realize what in the world we're talking about there. So it's going to be worth your while to invest some time in this study with us on Prayer Clinic. Right now we're at Prayer Clinic 101. And soon we get through Prayer Clinic 101, we'll get into Prayer Clinic 101.2. I haven't already started that, have I? 101.2?
Well, you named them. I think you're just naming them Prayer Clinic 01 and 02.
Oh, we're in the 101 series.
Yeah.
And what has aired is 0.1 and 0.2.
Yes, exactly.
So that's what's out there. So pick that up. Hey, if you will pick up what we're laying down, your life would be better for it. So just hang in there with us. Mom has weighed in. Who else has weighed in? We're having technical difficulty on our side as far as
LaDonna.
LaDonna on your feed?
On your feed.
Oh, on my feed. Hey, LaDonna. Good morning.
There's some on mine, but there's too many to remember
Too
at one
many
time.
to remember.
So hi,
we apologize.
everybody.
We'll catch up when we're finished here and make sure we give you guys the love you deserve, because we love our Facebook posse.
Yes.
We
appreciate them. Yeah. And please share this on
your page. You are
my
friends, and you are valuable and precious to me, period. End of story. So we're talking about friends and friendship, and developing friends as an adult does not come quite as easy as playing Tonka trucks in the dirt or G.I. Joes.
Or Barbies.
We had, it was easy then to just make friends and be friends. Life was simpler. I stayed a lot of time at my grandmother's house. We called her Granny. And she was, she would set us. Mother worked, Dad worked, so we were there a lot. Next door were 5 girls. They would come over with all of their Barbies, but they had a Ken. So, I would play Barbies with them, and we were friends. And
were you the Ken? Did you?
I was always the Ken. Yeah,
because he was like rugged. And did they have the Army Ken?
Well, I had G.I. Joe, so I learned to bring those and do the G.I. Joe and really impress Barbie.
Did the girls insist that they get married?
Oh, yeah. That was always a thing.
Yeah.
That was
everybody
always
wants
a thing.
to marry a G.I. Joe.
Or a Ken.
Or a Ken.
So we made friends like that. And what's precious to me about that, 2 of those sisters are friends with us on Facebook.
I know. I love it. And they're sweethearts, too.
Oh, yeah. And they love Jesus, and all of that is wonderful. So there's such a value in developing, keeping, and maintaining friendships. There's those 3 aspects: developing, then keeping, and maintaining friends, and they're all 3 a little different. So we're going to look at 3 points here as we end this study. And one is developing and keep and maintaining momentum when it comes to your friends. The burden is on you to make that phone call, to try to get something together, to have coffee, or to drive a little bit if you have to, and be able to sit down with them for some time, real face-to-face time, not the cyber face-to-face time. So understanding that the burden is on you to do that, to help you be able to maintain friendships in a way that is very, very effective. Another thing that's very important as we come to the end of our study in friendship is you have to end poisonous relationships. If after a while you've developed a friendship, you've tried to keep a friendship, and then you find that there's no way to maintain this friendship, it may be a one-sided friendship. You've got to end it. Is there more people on?
Louise and Christy
is on.
And Christina, and I think there was another couple on.
Cool.
Let me see.
So we got a whole pass along, and we appreciate it. Greg is on. Hey, Greg. Good morning.
And Leota.
Leota's on. Well,
So, welcome everybody. Hi, Lavonda.
So that our podcast posse knows what's going on. We're not getting we're not getting notifications on our live feed. So as we're monitoring it here, so we're getting a few, but not near as many who are actually on. So bummer. But we're walking around and looking actually at our phones to see who may be on. You've got to end. You hear me say you got to end poisonous relationships?
Yeah, or toxic, yes.
Toxic, poisonous relationships or friendships. That's
so true, Gary.
Yeah, and you've got to be able to identify that. And if you're involved with someone who is... Now, this is different than helping someone who has a legitimate, real problem.
Right.
But... a trait that a lot of toxic friends have is they're a victim all the time, and they're always needy. They're not giving back at all in the relationship. That's how you begin to realize.
Or they're abusive or unkind, or everything revolves around them.
That's no friend at all. And then number 3 is remember the little things, and that is their birthdays, their events that may be coming up. You've got to stay in touch that much to know what little things are happening in their life, and not always celebrate it with a card or a party, but be mentioning it in a way that they know you're engaged in their life.
Exactly.
Which reminds me of something that too many people, like when they meet new people, you ever seen this? Like you're introduced for the first time, and it seems like everything else in the room is more interesting to them than your face.
That person does not become my friend.
No,
just FYI.
that's how you know in the very beginning. And I know this when I'm introduced to people for the first time, I literally make sure that I make them feel like the universe revolves around them.
Undivided attention.
That's what
Put the phone down.
That's what got me in trouble with you. So
you looked into my eyes.
Yeah, I make
it was
everybody
all over. Wink, wink.
feel like the universe revolves around them, and I always have. I always will. So.
Well, and the point before that was not having toxic friends. One-sided relationships I will not do for very long, because I am not going to invest my precious and valuable time in a relationship where I'm not getting any love back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what
if it's all one-sided, oh my gosh, it reminds me of that one time we called somebody. We're like, we've been thinking about you, and the person actually was ignorant enough, maybe stupid enough to say out of their mouth, well, you sure think about us a lot more than we think about you. Well, guess what? That was the last time I spoke to them.
We've never spoken since.
Because how ridiculous. That is not how you build a friendship.
Yeah, I would have liked to continue the friendship, but that made me realize we ain't got no friendship.
There is no friendship
It
here.
wasn't there. It wasn't happening.
And maybe he might not have meant to say that, but when that's what you say, that's your heart.
All right, we're about out of time, so I want you to tell people how to stay in touch with us on other media outlets, and also how to give to perpetuate this.
All right.
ministry.
Well, if you would like to give and join Gary and me.
Gary and me is proper English.
I'm learning to do my proper English on that one. If you'd like to join us in what we're doing in getting the good news out, you can go to tusseyonline.com. That's Tussey online.com, and you can donate there. You can also see videos. You can see music. We're building this site right now as we speak. There's amazing different ways. You can go to Venmo, look for The Voice, INC, Cash App, money symbol, The Voice, INC. Now, if you want to see Tussey Television and the 3 new shows that we are launching, you're going to see Impact with Gary and Julie Tussey. You're going to see Real Gary Tussey Television, and you're going to see the Julie Tussey Show Television. And you can go to YouTube. All you do is search Tussey Television, and you will find us, or even our names will pull you over there. So
a lot of fun stuff going on. We keep it fun and full of high energy, and because that's how Jesus is, man. Once the Holy Ghost came into the earth and gets on all of us, it's just like, oh yeah.
And you know what else I want to say, because it's your podcast? You can also go to Amazon and search Gary and Julie Tussey or Julie Tussey and get all our original music, which we now, I don't know if you realize this, but now we're putting songs on the end, original songs on the end of every podcast that we release.
Yeah, we're writers and producers, and we love doing that. Next week, we've got a very special surprise if they come in, if they're shipped between now and next week.
Oh.
Don't tell them what it is.
I can't remember what you're talking about. I do remember now what you're talking about. Yeah. Well, it is early, y'all.
Well, will they be in by next week, you think?
I believe so.
All right, we got something great for you next week, so you don't want to miss out on that. Thank you, Podcast Posse, for hanging with us today. Thank you, Facebook Posse, for riding the trail with us today. And we'll see you next time. Until then, remember to live and let live, be free and set other people free. And by all means, apply a high energy pursuit toward happiness. Tussey out.
Your joy overwhelms me, filling me with victory. You liberate my mind, anointing just in time, destroying the yoke. You set me free. 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 Well, all the work was done. On the cross you won. You purchased me. You made me free. This world can't hold me down. I am heaven bound. Jesus just set me free to walk in victory. You set me free. You set me free. You set me free. You set me free. Well, all the work was done. On the cross you won. You purchased me. You made me free. This world can hold me down. I am heaven bound. Jesus just set me free to walk in victory. You set me free. You set me free. You set me free. You set